What's happening? You are now in tune to Talk Dirty Podcast. Myself, Lucasdirty. Maya's in the building.
What's going on, bro?
Another one. Another week. I got some shit to get off my chest already, bro. But
straight in.
No, we're not going to go straight in, but I just got a topic that I can't wait to talk about. So I can tell you people about some truths, man. Yeah. A topic I've been banging on for a while as well. So we're going to shed light on that in a minute. But what's good, bro? How are you?
I'm all right. I'm not feeling 100% today. I'm not going to lie to you.
Why? What's cracking?
I don't know. I think I'm coming down with something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure where it is. But you know what? I just come from Abu Dhabi and I was in a taxi. It was a Tesla. And it was so smooth that I think I've got a little bit of car sick as well.
How? Because it was that smooth?
Yeah, I don't usually get car sick, but my mum had a car back in the day. I remember it. It was a Polo VW. And that was so smooth as well that I couldn't ride in the car.
Because it's so smooth.
And I don't really get car sick at all. But just this one particular car used to obviously throw me off. Like it doesn't happen regular.
Bro.
And it wasn't, I must have been about 8 years old when I was getting that.
Yeah.
So, and today I felt it, I was like, whoa. But then again, the weather right now is a madness.
Horrendous. First of all, because I do want to talk about the weather real quick, because it's weird, like living in these conditions. But bro, sitting opposite you, I think I might start feeling sick, because them waves, I might start feeling a bit seasick, boy, because them waves.
Do you know what? Like, obviously, the first 2 episodes that we've done visually, I've wore a hat. And that's just because my hair grows so fast.
I reckon it's because you was wearing a do-rag and you was getting them waves right.
My hair grows so fast that it just looks raggedy. But luckily enough, I got trimmed maybe a couple of days ago. So
yeah, bro, you've been here longer than me. As people already know that are invested in this podcast. And for people that don't know, we do live in Dubai. So a lot of things are different here. We're still in touch with our culture. We're still in touch with what we do.
Our culture meaning UK culture.
Yeah. But we do live like in Dubai, so it's a different kind of setting. We live in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And right now, bruv, I've experienced a day or two of this
now,
weather.
You can kind of see it as well.
But I
think it's a sandstorm.
It's a sandstorm.
I think it's a sandstorm.
But it's not a sandstorm that's kind of happening. It's like we're living in a sandstorm right now.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how long it will last. Obviously, it happens now and then. It's not all the time.
But it just looks like dusky. So I reckon it's like the sand getting in our lungs and that.
They say, have you seen, obviously a lot of Dubai-based people have posted this around with regards to the pollution today. It's the highest in the world.
What?
Highest city in the world in terms of pollution.
Right.
They ranked it at I think 250 is the maximum.
We've overtook Beijing.
And we're like 230. But I think it's because of the sandstorm.
Yeah, it's got to be.
So it adds to it. Where the UK right now is like 30. So.
Do you know what I was thinking about the UK, mentioning that? The UK seem like they've had like 2-3 weeks of like, they call it good weather, we call it daylight. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what though? But the heat in the UK is completely different to the heat here in terms of the sun. I personally think that 30 degrees in the UK is hotter than 30 degrees in Dubai.
What? How?
Because of the humidity.
Okay. Yeah.
Here it's more humid, right? It's not so much sunlight beaming on you. But in the UK, it's direct sunlight.
Yeah.
So I feel like you feel it more.
That's why everyone's walking around like lobsters and that.
Yeah. But you know what? The first thing I saw was, it's 4 degrees. And I was like, fuck, that's hot. And literally, on my story, every other person was complaining. Oh, it's baking. It's hot. Da-da-da-da-da.
Stop it.
It's like, what do you want? Do you want it to be hot? Because it's summer. Do you want it to be hot?
Because you complain when it's not.
And then you complain where it is.
It's and it's the classic line, I like it hot, but not this hot.
Exactly.
But do you know what I really enjoyed? Watching Instagram and snaps and things of that nature. I've loved that they've had like 3 weeks of weather, because it's really had an effect on the music videos.
100%.
So if you watch GRM or Link Up or any of them channels, they've all got the whips out, they've got the rentals, the weather's nice, they've pulled their shorts out the bottom drawer and that.
But for me, the UK is the best for summer. Wow. Hands down. Just because like you know, the cities in London, the cities in the UK, look, I'm doing it
Thank
already.
you, better.
The cities in the UK,
Yeah.
like London, Birmingham, Liverpool, Leeds, Manchester, they're all very nice cities.
Yeah.
And I've only come to appreciate it since living here. Obviously,
Agreed,
Dubai
yeah,
is phenomenal as well.
Yeah.
But with regards to cities, for me, the best cities I've been to and only just realised is London and Singapore.
Right, that's mad. I feel like you do appreciate you where you're from more when you leave, don't you?
Yeah.
And I've thought many times, like, I think that if we had good weather, probably wouldn't leave the UK like how I've left anyway.
Yeah,
I'd definitely like to go on holiday, move about, but I think for me, that was one of the main reasons I moved, because of the weather.
You'd be very surprised, because I would go and say that is one of the main reasons, not the main reasons, but it's definitely a factor. But the weather affects people's moods.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
But yeah, like I said, it's quite dusty outside and whatever else. Even our camera guy right now, he's wearing what do you call that? Just a standard mask.
Like it's like a surgeon's mask.
Yeah, he's looking like a surgeon right now. So, but yeah, it's one of those things.
Shouts out Kyle.
Kylie. But yeah, no, it's all good though. It's all good.
Man. Bro, I've had like a mad week, like emotionally, man. I've had a hard week. So obviously, I'm late to the party. If anyone's watching, rolling their eyes. Yes, I'm late to the party, but I've only started listening to Triple X, man. XXX Tentacion. Obviously, I heard. I can't remember what tune I heard, but I heard. And look at me. Is that the first one he dropped?
First big one.
Okay, so I've heard a couple tunes, just skimmed over, and I don't like to jump on the hype. I don't like to be like, oh, because someone's done, like. Mm-hmm. I just like to process and take things in my own time. And the other day, I just decided I was going to start looking into things. It started with an interview, the No Jumper interview. I watched that with him, and I thought, do you know what? I quite like this kid. I thought he was quite interesting. So then I started getting into another interview when he came out, fresh out of jail. Then I started getting, and then I thought, do you know what? Let me give this album a listen, the Question Mark album. And bro, I felt like, because it's weird watching someone when they've gone. He's some mad energy, but I know this kid is rated. I feel like the youth rate him and the olders, and if I put myself in that category, underrate him or just think he's shit. The kid is a fucking genius.
Yeah.
I can't believe how good his music is. Even the rock stuff, I was like, some of it's not for me. Some of it's too rocky.
He's very versatile. One of the albums, I don't know if this Question Mark album or the other one, it still sounds very raw.
Yeah.
Like it's not super mixed and mastered.
Oh yeah, he wanted to do that because he didn't want it to be commercial. That was the first album.
I think that obviously adds an effect to it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things which is unfortunate, but you know, once someone passes, they get the most attention.
Yeah, and it kind of makes him, it puts him in that special category now. I mean, we didn't go over this topic because it didn't happen while we were back.
Yeah.
But first of all, you kind of, I don't know whether you did, but I watched him a little bit, and when I heard somebody saying, "Oh, I think Triple X has died," straight away, I thought he's killed himself, suicide.
Same.
So I've always kind of imagined him to die.
But if you listen to his music and even his messaging, it's I won't say death-based, but he touches on it.
Yeah, he touches on suicide. It's depressing. Like there's some real sad stuff. He's been through it. Like there's some sad topics in that. But he's just a weird. I've had a weird like. I don't even know, man. Like I think the kid. I was listening to him, and there's certain elements that I was listening to, and I thought, you kind of remind me of Tupac in a way. And I know everyone's like, oh, you can't
It's a big shout.
It is a big shout, but I think he was a special guy.
I think he's good enough to be in his own sort of category.
Like a Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
He's like the hip-hop Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
He's really good, man.
Really, really good.
Right, bro. I want to talk about, did you watch The Breakfast Club with John Singleton? And what's my man's name? What is it? Damison Idris.
Yeah.
Do you know this kid?
Do you know what?
Because he's from Peckham. I don't know in London how close that is.
Peckham, yeah?
Is it Peckham? Peckham.
Yeah.
He's from
Peckham.
Yeah. Is it what is it?
Peckham.
Peckham. What did I say?
Peckham.
Oh right, I'm so I've been called.
Yeah, he's from Peckham. He's from Peckham.
Yeah. Is that close to your sides or?
Yeah, that's like literally that is my sides really.
Yeah.
Like Southeast London.
Oh, okay. So do you know him or do you know of him?
One, I don't know him personally. Two, I kind of knew about him getting into acting.
Yeah.
A lot of actors are coming out of those sides, you know.
Yeah.
Even the guy that's in what's that film?
On the Wall.
No, what's that film? Oh, it's gone out of my head now. Is it Get Out? Get Out.
Okay.
The guy in Get Out, I'm sure he's from around those sides as well. And then you got the other guy that's in...
Who's from Shiro's Story? Them two boys from Shiro's Story.
Javon Wade.
Did you say they were in a film the other day?
Yeah, the ones in The Purge.
The Purge, you know. That's a massive look at
that's
it.
a big look.
These
even
are Hollywood
the guy
films.
even the guy in the Star Wars. One of the latest Star Wars.
Yeah.
John Boyega.
Yeah, there's some big actors coming out of the
That's amazing,
ends. And
That's
it's
amazing.
phenomenal to see. But yeah...
so did you hear the comment?
I saw the Breakfast Club interview. Actually, furthermore, I didn't watch the Breakfast Club interview.
Yeah.
I saw what Giggs said
Okay.
and then went back and watched it.
So you had a different feeling to watching it naturally without Giggs' influence or hearing Giggs'... What do you think you would have felt when you heard that straight away?
Do you know what? I've kind of accepted how some Americans look at UK artists, whether it's music or, I don't know, actors as such.
Or just black people?
Yeah. But obviously you can't tarnish everyone with the same brush. But when I heard it, obviously I acknowledged it via Giggs.
Yeah.
But when I heard it, I was like, oh, typical.
He was more...
But it wasn't like a shock to me that
it was just
he had that perspective.
Do you think he had the perspective or did he just ask the question?
Well, it's a bit hard to say because Charlemagne's a troll. Do you want to give a backstory for the listeners that don't know?
I think
what we're
most
talking
people
about?
should know, but basically Charlmagne asked a young black gentleman from Peckham, do you feel like you have to prove your blackness here in America? I think those were close to the words he said.
Yeah.
And
I don't even know if he stated America or in
he
general.
said he did.
He did.
He said here in America.
Okay.
Yeah. It kind of makes me think like, it's a question like, oh, we're really fucked up here. Are you fucked up too? Like, I think I think it feels out like we have to prove ourselves. We have to prove our blackness. We have to do this, that, the other.
No, I saw it as Charlemagne asking whether he understands that he's black. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
We're black, you know, and obviously coming from the UK, do you understand like the melanin you have?
Do you talk the same language as us?
Not even do you talk the same language as us. Are you aware of the implications that come with being black in America? Which obviously was offensive to Giggs.
Maybe Giggs isn't invested or as familiar with Charlemagne's work.
Because but regardless...
I know Charlmagne from a personal standpoint, like I don't know him personally, but from a personal standpoint, from listening to Breakfast Club, Brilliant Idiots and interviews, that he's very transparent and he always says, if I don't know something, I'll ask it. So I know he trolls people.
Yeah, trolls.
But for me, that was him wanting to find out.
You think it was a genuine question?
I don't understand the black culture in the UK or how black people feel in the UK. Let me ask the question.
Yeah, but there's a way to ask.
But how do you ask? How do you? I think he asked.
You can ask by the way we've explained how we feel he's thinking. So you can say in the UK, X, Y, and Z, or do you experience these things, or do you know what I mean? Rather than question a man's, I don't know, not necessarily his background, but his perception on his background. Because it just goes to show that obviously you can't tarnish every American with the same brush, but they're not very in tune with
They're
how
not in
we
tune
feel.
with anybody but themselves.
Yeah. Because he even said, as an African American, he's not African American.
Yeah.
He's not African American.
He's not American, and he might actually not be African.
Exactly. But you know what? I remember going to a pool party years ago, right?
Yeah.
And I bumped into this girl who come from America, and her mum was with her. So we managed to, fall into having a conversation, and her mum was there as well. And her mum was basically saying, like, they say African American because they're not 100% sure of their heritage. Obviously, this is before you can take the test and whatever else. So, which was weird for me, because I always used to think, why do they say African American? Like, I'm not too sure why do they say that? Because if someone asks me, where are you from? For example, obviously you get asked that here all the time. Yeah. Do you understand? By Arabs and whatever else. Because of my skin tone, it doesn't make sense, because immediately they're thinking that I'm Arab, right? But then when they hear me speak, it throws them off. So they say, oh, where are you from? And then I say UK.
And they say, no, but where are you from?
Yes.
And you're like, from the UK. No, but you're not really from there. No.
Exactly. Or even like, I was helping a mate, football coach from kids. And the kids ask as well, like, oh, coach, where are you from? Sort of thing. But when you say UK, it's like, obviously, they're not, and I'm not just referring to the kids, I'm referring to some Americans as well. Like, it's like, UK, you should have a different complexion then. So then you go in to say, oh, you know what? My parents are originally from Jamaica. And then it's like, oh, okay.
Then they're happy with that.
Yeah, but to know that my parents are from Jamaica or my grandparents are from Jamaica, it brings a sense of pride. Do you know what I mean? So imagine living in America and the only identification that you have is African American.
It's not just a sense of pride. It's also a sense of stability and kind of confirmation, like that you know your roots.
Yeah.
Like,
so I think obviously this is a whole different topic, but the girl's mum that I was speaking to at the pool party, she looked like she was going to break down, because she was like, yeah, literally, I don't know where, because they come over a lot earlier, I believe, than people from the black people to the UK.
Yeah.
So they went to America a little bit earlier, and obviously was transported from X, Y, and Z. So they don't have the knowledge. Not all of them. Some of them obviously do. But they don't have the knowledge of their actual heritage.
Bro, I won't get deep into this, but do you know both your parents?
Yes.
Were raised by both your parents?
Yes.
There was a time.
I was raised by my mum, but yeah, I do know. Both
Okay,
my
there was
parents.
a time in my life where I didn't see my pops. I didn't know my pops, and I didn't know where my pops was.
Mm-hmm.
And from those years, that allows me to relate to a lot of people, because there was at one point I didn't know what he looked like.
Right.
Everybody got to see their dad on the weekend because he was away working and things like that of that nature.
Yeah.
And there was a point where I didn't actually know. Like I had a picture of him, like they showed me a picture of him. I couldn't remember him. I couldn't whatever. And later down the line, years on, I got to meet him. But I always remember that. Like, I can relate now when people don't know their makeup, their setup, where they're from. I can understand it. It could wobble you a little bit, make you a bit more insecure and a bit more.
Of course.
You know.
But that's why on the first.
I think we need talk. I think we need a talk space.
Do you know what? Like, I think
talk space sponsor.
It's a wicked topic, because even the first episode visually we did.
Yeah.
And you said, being light skinned, can you identify with Drake's problems with regards to knowing who he is? And then I said to you, but the difference is I'm light skinned and not mixed race.
And
So, not that obviously people that are mixed race have two parents and they know where both of them are from, but it's like, what side of the fence do you sit on? Or you have a lot more people to be accepted by. I can't explain it, but you got this side and that side.
You don't need
and
to
this side
explain it to me.
Might not mess with that side.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So sometimes
it's how you perceived as well.
Yeah, and in my experience of coming across mixed race boys and girls, it not all, but a lot of them struggle with regards to how to not behave, but like portray themselves. I can't really say, because there's not a mixed race way, stereotypical mixed race way of being.
Yeah, there is.
Unless your name is Jade or Jaden.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you
just got to be flaky and like just I don't know. You just got to move proper light skin. Now, do you know that mixed race people are out of most races are the highest percentage for being mentally ill?
Really?
Yeah.
Fact.
Mulattoes.
Because we can't be giving out.
That's a fact that I knew. That's a fact that I knew 7 to 10 years ago.
That's very.
So maybe
very
it's changed, but mulattoes. That's what we called, isn't it? Mulattoes.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So anyway, so while we're on the Breakfast Club, I want to bring up, because Charlmagne obviously is an interesting character. I don't care who does a podcast. You're watching Charlmagne because he, from the crossover from radio to the internet
he's
to
outlandish.
these podcasts, he's our guy, and he like for our kind of generation. And I want to get into. We forgot to mention it last week, but there was a case. Basically, there was a bit of uncertainty on what's happened with Charlmagne, because
in the past.
Yeah, no, Joe Budden called him out on something, and I wasn't quite sure of what's happened with. Something was going on with Charlmagne, basically.
Right.
And then basically found out about Charlemagne's comments that he made on the Brilliant Idiots podcast, and he's made it a couple times because I've listened to every one of them. He when they talk about rape topics, they brought up, Charlmagne said, I think I might have raped my wife the first time we had sex. And he said he knew her for a year, made her wait, whatever. But it was all to do with her being drunk and him not taking advantage, because it wasn't like, or I don't know, because I don't want to speak on behalf of him, but he'd just say like, oh, I think I might have raped my wife, but he didn't mean it. He didn't understand how harsh and how direct his words could cut.
And how sensitive that topic is.
Yeah, because they do, you've heard the Brilliant Idiots, they do make fun of, and they joke very freely about
everything.
Yeah, about everything.
Yeah.
And that's a topic that they don't stay away from, rape. They're hot on that. They're always making jokes and that kind of locker room banter. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of an old school banter. But did you see the interview when he went on to the Breakfast Club? Well, he was on the Breakfast Club, and they addressed the topic.
I saw a clip of it on Instagram.
Okay, so he went on there, he addressed the topic, he called his wife, he discussed recent sexual allegations about his wife, and they started to speak. They drew the topic of, is drunk sex consensual? Okay. So this got me fired up. He got me fired up straight away, because I just thought, do you know what? I've got 3 points to this, right? Is there anything you want to add? Have I missed out anything?
Nah, you fly.
There's 3 points that came to my head. Now, I don't know whether I'll articulate them well, but I'm going to say them. My first point is, I don't need the Breakfast Club to set rules and regulations and give me guidance of when I should and when I shouldn't have sex. I don't need a radio DJ, a club DJ, and a blogger to tell me when I should have sex and when I shouldn't. I don't need to be educated on that topic by you 3 people. That's for number one. I like their opinions. I respect their opinions.
You're talking from a personal standpoint, because they might be children. And when I say children, I mean under the age
That's not who we should be going to.
Yeah, but if they could provide some sort of support whether it's in the UK, US, or
Yeah,
whatever.
agreed.
If that can prevent
Agreed. I know where you're
a
going.
young male with going ahead with something that he's not 100% sure of because he hasn't heard the words yes, then it might be a necessary thing to say. You're talking from
okay. No. You just said
perspective
yes.
of someone that's
no,
mature.
No. I'm talking. Well, I've always felt mature anyway. Even as a youngster, I've always thought that I think on an adult level. So, like you just said, yes. What do you mean, yes? Like the Breakfast Club and Brilliant Idiots have been, oh, you need to get yes from a woman. You need to get consent. You need to get... Yeah, we know this.
Yeah, but I believe consent is different from a yes.
There's a cross line where it's both relevant. It's both relevant to each other. But this is what I'm saying. I don't need you people on the radio to start setting rules and laws and guide.
Yeah, but you're speaking personally. You're saying
I can only speak personally.
I don't need that. Yeah, but someone else might need that. This is why things like this are happening, because there are lost youth out there.
Charlmagne says you must get a yes off a woman. He says now that when he has sex with his wife, he says, should we have sex?
Yeah, but he might be trolling because that's his wife.
Or he might be exaggerating to put that out there
to support
but this is what
any youth that's unsure.
As much as, yes, we 100% need to make sure that sex is consensual, both parties, all three parties, all four parties, however good it gets, that are involved. Everybody needs to be consenting. Everyone needs to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But
we're going big topics today.
I don't want to say to a girl, shall we have sex now? Or can I have sex with you?
Yeah, but that's you. But
and also, it's very mad
for the youth.
It's very male heavy. There's a lot of burden on the male. The man should ask, what about if she wants to smash me?
One thing I must say, is obviously it's a case-by-case situation. I mean, even
Agreed.
if a female does say yes, how are you going to prove that, right? But that's a whole different avenue.
Yeah.
But what I must say is that growing up, I've never had a problem picking up on people's vibes and the way they come across, an aura. Do you understand? So, and I thought this was normal. I thought the majority of men and females have this...
Can tell whether...
Not power, but ability
to see if she's down or not.
To detect. Saying that, I remember numerous occasions where I've been out with a couple of my boys, and there are a few of them in particular that would try to speak to girls, and then they're not being aggressive, but they're not picking up on the vibe that they're not interested, right? So then it becomes uncomfortable to watch.
Okay.
So then, like, a girl might have not necessarily even said no, but it's the vibe that she's given out is evident that she's not interested. But the fact that you keep tapping her and have a drink but I know these guys.
So there's a difference between persistence and annoyance.
Yeah, but I can speak for them, and they are genuine people, but they just don't have the ability to tell the difference between a girl that's playing hard to get, a girl that's genuinely not interested.
Yeah.
And I think that also comes down to sex drive as well, because me personally...
I was just about to say that I was a part of that team, and then you said that, and I was like, whoa, back out.
Yeah. Me personally, I used to think this was normal, but me personally, after speaking to obviously a number of people, males, it's like, maybe my sex drive is lower than average because I don't need it as frequent as a next man. Like, I know people that will go out to rave.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I don't know.
This is my personal opinion, but I will go out to rave, obviously, now and then. And, like, some people literally can't have a good night without sleeping with someone at the end of the night. I think that's a few things.
I think that comes down to desperation, not getting it, and insecurity.
Yes, not getting it is a big one, and insecurity. Because you know what? Personally, I've always known that I'm allowed, or I have the ability to decline because it will come back around. Growing up,
do
you understand?
Yeah.
Where a next man who's not as confident, it's like a dog and his last meal.
Declining's a good feeling, isn't it, as a male?
Oh, it's wicked.
Declining's a good feeling as a male.
If you give a dog some food, he's going to eat it because he doesn't know when the next one's going to come.
Yeah.
So as far as these men concerned, they have to take everything that comes round.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
But sometimes declining is one of the best feelings in the world.
A good feeling.
And I was talking to one of the
little
little
homies.
homies.
Power in your hand, man.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the little homies the other day and we was just chopping it up. And I was saying to him, because he was asking me like my situation and whatever else. I was telling him obviously I got a girlfriend and whatever. And he was like saying to me, like, how do you find it? I was like, yeah, all good, whatever else. And I said to him, sometimes, you know what, like, you would get to a stage where it's an art form, but sometimes knowing you could do something is actually better than doing it. Or you've done it mentally.
I know what you're saying.
So you don't need to even go there.
Saying.
Do you know what I mean? And he just couldn't understand it.
So that was my first topic, basically. I don't need, because they're setting the rules. And, you know, like when somebody says, mixed race. Oh, you can't say mixed race anymore. Now you have to say biracial. And then it's like, oh, you can't say biracial. I understand sometimes it makes sense, but I don't need these three guys in this room to set the rules. I don't need them guys to set the rules for me.
Need those
okay.
guys.
Also, this is what so that was point one.
Okay.
Point two is I'm sick to death of these celebrities, these personalities, these people in the limelight fucking up and then addressing it, and the way in which they address it is them taking the moral high ground, really, you know, painting the picture like, you know, guys, like we've got to do better. And it's like, no, you fucked up, not me. We don't have to do better. You have to do better. You need to be accountable for yourself, and you need to stop making out as if this is a worldwide issue, when even if it is, be accountable for yourself, because I'm sick of hearing, you know, the way that we were brought up in the 80s. No, fuck that. The way you were brought up in the 80s. I don't want to hear about everybody. I want to hear about you. And I'm sick of them coming on and then after that, straight away, they hit a press conference, hit a press release, make a statement, and then they talk about Charlmagne. Charlmagne, obviously, I love the guy. Obviously, he's talented. He's intelligent. He's great to watch. But I keep hearing you telling me about, yo, man, you'll learn, don't cheat, you're preaching this good life, but we know all the fuckery you got up to. So now you want to be on your high horse. Basically, what I'm saying is don't mention the topic. Don't mention it because you've already done all your dirt. And now because you're older, you're settling down. And I'm saying that from someone that could potentially fuck up in the future. But as a young guy, I've never cheated on a woman in my life. I've never been disloyal. That's not my thing. So I have to listen to you talking about, like if I get to 50, 60, 70, however old I get to, if I'm ever married and in those situations, and I can say I've never been unfaithful. That's who you need to listen to, me. You don't need to listen to men that have been running around whiling and then even says on the radio, yo, like, he says the date of the last time he cheated on his wife. He knows the date of the last time he cheated on his wife. And now you're preaching on, you know, we need to do better. We don't need to do better, you do.
I hear you.
That's my second point.
But he's talking from experience.
Yeah.
So if I take a gamble and lose my money, does that give me no right to tell someone younger than me, look, don't take that risk?
Absolutely. But don't take the high horse. Don't be like, oh, I haven't gambled for 2 years now. The last time I gambled was whatever. And like, I'm so good now.
Maybe that comes down to like, you know, having to prove himself, and he's got a lot of business relationships that he has to, you know, massage and make sure he's in the clear. Like, I'm a massive fan of Charlmagne with regards to how open he is. I've read his book, Black Privilege.
Yeah.
And it's really, really good. There's some serious gems in there with regards to growing up and whatever else.
But do you know what's good about his gems? They speak to us. Like, when you hear them, it doesn't sound like Einstein or...
No, it's as raw as it comes.
It's very like...
Yeah, it's as raw as it comes.
What's it called? Like...
It's just
you can take them in very well.
Yeah. And it's an easy read in terms of you know, the dialect used, and you can kind of, it's not, because I've been put off by certain books by the vocabulary.
I know what I'm saying as well. I'm somewhat contradicting myself because I'm saying we don't need you, although I know we do need people in these positions.
Yeah, because if he's not going to say it, who is going to say it? That's like saying, Jay-Z, don't tell me about black-owned businesses when you used to sell drugs. No, he's been through that. He's built this empire. Don't hold him to what he's done in the past. He's learned and gone past that.
Yeah, but
he's providing information
he's had a strong
on how
base
to,
and foundation from drugs, though.
Regardless.
But
he's not saying. He's just living his truth. Like, look, I used to sell drugs.
Yeah.
But then we invested the money that we had into a record label, and now look, like
I'm fine with that. I'm comfortable with that.
Right.
But
so it's the same thing on the flip side. What Charlamagne's doing, he said, look,
but at the same time,
I've had a few mishaps.
But at the same time, yeah, you've turned into a businessman, but that's
what.
Maybe I need to think about that.
No, go on. Might as well
maybe I need to think about that a bit more, because I just think there's only certain ways people can come up: rich parents or the road.
No, as far as I'm concerned.
Where's Dre, man? I need Dre. Dre have been with me on this.
There's various ways to come up, but basically you got to grind, and then whatever money you've accumulated, you invest. Okay. So your 9 to 5 realistically should be your grind for whatever you want to invest in, achieve in. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, I don't think Jay-Z's a drug dealer, so I'm not listening to his music. For me,
I think Jay-Z's a drug dealer, so I'm listening to his music.
Yeah, well, it depends on what album you're listening to and what vibe you're in. Because I want to hear that Pusha T selling, mad amounts of cocaine music. But other times I want to listen. Do you know what? For me, Jay-Z now is therapeutic. I'll never forget, like, his last album, not the one with Beyonce, 444. It was nothing but gems. I still play that to today.
Of course.
He made me that tune, Story of OJ.
Yeah.
It was like listening to advice
from your uncle,
from my dad.
Yeah.
It's like what I wanted my dad to tell me.
Yeah.
So when he's saying, look, don't throw money in the strip club, worry about your credit, I swear to you.
Do you know what it is as well? Do you know what with some of these points?
Let me finish. Believe you me, right? I went onto Google, I went onto Experian, I checked my credit. Yeah. It happened. It so happened that my credit was low, right? But if I had never checked it, I would have never known. And it turns out that something incorrect was on my file.
Okay.
So I had to phone the bank in the UK and say, look, this is on my file. I don't understand why. I've paid this credit card off from when I was 21. Why is it on there? Okay, cool, no problem. They got in contact with the creditors, changed it. My credit just went like this.
Mad. So Jay did that?
Jay did that. I would have never checked it, and that would just fucked up my file.
Gangster, that is. That's gangster.
I swear to you.
For him to have an effect, and I'm sure you're not the only one in the world, even if it's 10 people in the world that have done that.
And I would have never, imagine if I'd left it, and then, because there's only a certain period of time before you can protest something that's on your file. So if I passed that threshold, I might have never been able to be approved for another mortgage.
That's why we need balance. That's why we need contrast. That's why we need to listen to Migos, but we need to listen to people like
I've always said, right, I balance what I listen to.
Yeah.
You got to be careful what you feed.
If you follow Myers, Myers_INTL, you'll see on a Sunday, he likes to feed the soul.
Yeah, you got to be careful what you feed the soul. And it's true. It's true.
Let me get into my third point. So my first one was I don't want to hear these lot talking about it. Second one is I don't want you taking the higher ground and then all of a sudden you're fucking God and we have to listen to how great you're doing. And then my third one is the term rape culture is fucking ridiculous.
There's no such thing.
It's fucking ridiculous. I keep saying this. we do listen to the Americans too much on some topics. Rape culture.
Yeah, but why is that? Why is that?
What?
Hold your thought. Hold your thought. Why is that?
Because they're great at marketing and they're great at entertainment.
So you
And
think...
the more you listen to them, the more you're probably influenced by them.
Yeah, but who else, like, who in the UK can the UK youth listen to on that level? That will provide... Because he provides fuckery
No, I'm not talking...
and gems. Who? Akala.
Bomb!
Yeah? Akala. Right. Now, how prominent is Akala? How much financial backing does Akala get? Do you know what I mean? He needs support. And to have to dig out a name, which was probably the best name you could have said, Akala,
Yeah,
right?
I think you kind of shut him down, actually.
Yeah,
I think
you hit the nail on the head there. But how many of those are
Two-tone
there?
sounds in
And
the
on top
building.
of that, how prominent is he? Because there's people listening to this being like, Akala.
But then we have to talk in respect of how big's America, how much funding they've got for people like that, and we
We're
don't
behind.
have as
Well,
much.
the UK is behind.
Okay, so what was I saying? Rape culture. The term rape culture, right, bruv? You know, I'm from like I used to DJ garage and that. I'm from the like garage scene and like
121.
I'm into hip hop culture, and you know that I like the UK culture. What are you interested in? Oh yeah, I like a bit of football culture, a bit of hip hop culture. Also interested in a bit of rape culture. It's not a fucking culture. It's not a culture. The fuck is rape culture?
You know what? Like, that's like saying, I don't know,
Dumb.
robbery culture, fraud culture.
It's not a
Like,
culture.
It's not a culture. But then again, just to be devil's advocate, right? It may be a culture without people even realizing.
No, it's not a culture.
Like, it's not a culture if you say the word before you mention culture.
Words are powerful.
But it
man.
might be a culture between people that are unintentionally being a part of it.
Is culture a cult?
I'm not too sure what the actual definition of culture
I'd assume
is.
that culture, the word culture comes from cult.
Do you think you
I'd
could be
assume
part
that-
of a culture without realizing?
Yeah.
So then maybe there are people that
Oh
are out
shit,
here
hang on.
robbing
Let me say
and
no
stealing.
because you might have fucked my point
Yeah,
there.
there are people out here robbing and stealing, whether it's to feed their
No,
babies
it's a
or not,
it's
and they're
a
part of
behav-
a robbery culture. I don't know.
It's
I'm
a
just saying.
behavior. It's an act. It's a behavior. It's not. There's no such thing as
But
a
the thing
rape
is, yeah,
culture.
if I take your phone,
because they're not talking just about like the actual acts of things. They're talking also about
the things that go around it.
Yeah. So that.
But this is what I'm saying to you.
It's not a rape culture.
No,
It's
but
maybe
what I'm
it's a
saying to
topic.
you
It's
is
not a
just
culture.
to play devil's advocate, yeah?
Don't play devil's advocate.
Not to cut you off, but if I take your phone, right?
Yeah.
I know I'm taking your phone.
What do you mean? Take it?
Like if I steal it
You
from
ain't
you,
stealing my phone, bro.
right? If I run up in your house, yeah, I know what I'm doing. But there are people that have been convicted of quote unquote rape that may not even be in know-how that they've done that.
Understand. But do you know what? Sometimes by playing devil's advocate, I don't think you've done that. But you don't always have to contest something. So what do you think?
All I was trying to do is contest the,
I get it.
name,
I get it.
not the
But what are your thoughts?
on what?
That term, is it just ridiculous? Because if I agree it's ridiculous, you agree it's ridiculous.
I agree. It doesn't really sit right with me because it doesn't. I don't know. I'm with you on that. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, maybe me referring to my friends that are in a club that are trying to be over persistent
Bro.
and give girls alcoholic beverages
Yeah.
just to get there in the end, without them understanding that it's
Yeah.
rape, could be rape culture.
It's not culture though. It's not culture.
Okay.
It's not culture. We can use rape something, I don't know, but it's not culture. It's not culture, you get me?
Yeah. Because culture, using the word culture is usually like a thing of pride.
Yeah, positivity, pride.
I'm from this culture. I represent this culture.
Yeah,
I've never heard
yeah.
the word culture being used in a negative manner.
Well, you could say, let's say ghetto culture as a random thing to throw out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily positive, but it's more of a community-based thing maybe. I was just thinking then, Kylie running around with a camera. You should have seen him in the club the other night. Kylie's got one new stabilizer that stabilizes his camera. This boy was running around all night flying his camera.
Driving an aeroplane.
Yeah. So yeah, those were the three things.
Stay true to your craft, bro.
Now, bruv, I know you ain't got long tonight, but there's one more thing then that
That's what I tell her all the time.
that I'm gonna have to get off my chest as well.
Go on.
So we've kept it all Breakfast Club, really, because Breakfast Club.
No,
also,
we've gone off into other things that I feel is important.
A few months ago, they had Azealia Banks on the Breakfast Club. Now everybody knows how I feel about it. My people around me. People have had conversations around me and know how I feel about Azealia Banks. Right? They had her on the Breakfast Club.
Quickly, how do you feel about it?
I'm going to get into it. Right. I was fucking disgusted that had that piece of shit of a woman on the Breakfast Club. She's disgusting. I think the girl is fucking disgusting. She's disgusting.
She's gonna come for you. She's gonna come for you in the gram.
Come for me. I don't care, because I am not going to tell you. I'm not going to call you anything. Like, I'm not going to throw words at you. I'm not going to call you a this or that, the other. I'm just going to say you're disgusting. Because if I lower myself to your level and start saying things and naming that, like, it's tacky, but you're a disgusting woman. I think she's disgusting. The way she talks about people, she's more racist than these KKK people. She's a horrible, racist, nasty piece of shit. No, she is. She is. I think she's disgusting.
I think
the way she talks about black people is worse to hear from her than I've heard of. I've heard more racism off her than I've heard of anybody. And the reason I'm bringing her up is not just because she was on the Breakfast Club a few months ago, but that really disappointed me that Charlmagne had her on. Oh, I know she said a few bad things, but we need to build her up. We need to help her out. We need to support this young woman, this young black woman that they wanted to support. But she's just had a bit of a hoo-ha with Wild 'N Out.
Yeah.
Nick Cannon on that show went on there. Everyone knows what the show's about. Still doesn't mean you should get bullied on there if you're not for things. Do you know what I mean? Because it's nationally televised all over the globe on the internet. But apparently they made her cry. Apparently they bust a couple jokes. She tried to pop back. Nobody laughed at her. Nobody thought she was funny. She was the joke. And then she started crying, and then she started screaming. It was the freestyle part. They said that they couldn't get Cardi B on the show. This is all allegedly, because there's freestyles to every story. But it still hasn't been aired yet. But they said, like, we couldn't get Cardi B on the show, so we got you, an ugly version instead, like you. And they basically said she was ugly. So now she talks about colorism. She talks about all these topics, and she starts being a right nasty, horrible lady. You want me to continue, or do you want me to? You were going to add something, I think.
Azealia Banks. I could understand why you have that perception of her. It's not a perception,
it's facts.
I don't think it's your opinion.
No, it's not. It's facts.
But I think it's a strong opinion that most people would agree with.
I hope so. I really hope so.
But sometimes, like, in terms of her craft, she's very talented at what she can do.
The annoying thing is, I've said on here before, she's so good.
She is very good.
She's so good, bro.
Maybe a little bit insecure, but in terms of her talent, she's proper.
Her music. But the most I can do from my little platform is go onto my laptop, go into my Serato, and delete every single one of her songs. I will never play a Azealia
Sometimes
Banks
I
song.
think, the way she behaves, it has to be deeper than what's on the surface.
I agree.
Now, for me, her behavior is a cry or, an alarm to say, look, I need help, basically.
But how much do we need to help someone where, like, okay.
These are things that should be detected, because I think she's one of a few where it's extremely evident that something's not right. And instead of...
But we shouldn't allow it, though. We shouldn't allow it.
No, it's not allowed. It's not allowed whatsoever.
We do allow it because she's been on the Breakfast Club.
Actions. Yeah, but everyone sometimes deserves a second chance.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah, especially where it's not physical. Everyone deserves a second chance because
Bruv.
if it's physical, then cool. But if it's even if it is
Okay.
physical, but if it's words and things like that, yeah, everyone grows mentally.
After being on
So
the
you can't hold a XXX Tentacion for things that he said when he was 18, because that guy could have been Malcolm X by the time he's 28.
yeah.
So everyone deserves a second chance.
Okay, after being on Wild 'N Out, she put some tweets out. She put some Instagram stories out. I wonder if Nick Cannon will do the next season of Wild 'N Out of a, what's it called, Cluster Me Bag. I wonder if the Cluster Me Bag will have the Wild 'N Out logo on it. LOL. They said I had to hop on the internet to gain a backbone, but if I would have dug my nails into that boy's eye holes and punctured his eyeballs on the stage, I would have gone to jail, basically. Then I'd be in jail. I don't care for any of those black men, even to risk my freedom trying to prove my point.
Well,
There's a
anyways,
lot of things said.
social media is a
But let me get
dangerous
into something.
platform.
Let me get into something because I mentioned this on Hard Food Podcast when I was a guest on their show, when I was a guest on their little show that they do. Their little show. Shouts out Juice. Shouts out.
You know
Samson
what?
King.
Just a quick
Go on.
thing that I thought about right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
social media is a mad platform,
Yeah.
and I don't believe it's for everybody because not everyone has the ability to remain private to an extent. Obviously,
Yeah.
if you want to put everything out there, then cool.
Yeah.
But some people use it as a venting tool.
Yeah. Not a
And
good
don't
idea.
use it. Yeah, don't think about what they're doing before they do it. That's why things come down and posts are deleted and stuff like that. Now, for me, just listening to what you're saying, obviously questioning her mental health, and she is of age, but just to ask the question, do you feel like social media platforms, and obviously this is difficult to police, should have an age restriction?
Yes and no, but we're learning how to monitor them better. We are learning how to monitor them better. Parental guidance is parental control. You can't post certain things. Things can get reported. Remember, we're living in the wild, wild west on the internet.
Yeah.
Like in the world, we've got
It's no man's land.
We've got laws established, and we know the rules and regulations of different
Yeah.
countries. On the internet, the last years has been mad because we've been able to take music for free. We've been able to do
everything.
Yeah, we've been able to live how we want to live.
You can
it's called
you can gangbang on.
you
You can do anything.
We're
on the
living
internet.
like gangbangers. Well, let me get into this. I mentioned it on Hard Food Podcast, right? Now, I said that this girl is a piece of shit. I think she's disgusting. And I mentioned about what she said about the UK. And we couldn't find the footage, but I've managed to find the footage. Now, let's revisit, after I've played you these 3 clips, let's revisit Azealia Banks as a person after I've played you these 3. I'm on my campaign. I want everybody to boycott this bitch, right? I shouldn't say boycott this bitch as in throwing it at her, like, boycott this woman, right? I think she's disgusting. I think if anybody fucks with her from the UK, I think you're disgusting. And after you hear this for me, this just sums her all up. Go through and watch her nasty moments. Go through, watch her history of how she acts, how she behaves. And this is the type of thing she's saying about the UK.
With your black ass. With your fucking black ass. Ah! With your fucking black ass. And then all these little grime niggas. Like, who the fuck even listens to grime? I'm sorry. Nobody listens to grime, you understand? US rappers and hip-hop rappers, like, they only latch onto grime when there's nothing else better to do. Because nobody fucking likes grime. Grime sucks. And they got all these UK bitches, they're like, oh, you are a bad example for black women, but you know what, let me not even get into that.
All right, let me skip through.
Let me not even get
Let me skip through. And you need to listen to the whole thing, though. Yeah.
And Anyway, so back to the grime scene. The whole grime scene is trash. You understand? Y'all niggas make them fucking lame-ass dubstep beats that nobody wants to fucking hear.
Lame-ass dubstep beats that... Actually, your music's quite dubsteppy at time and you're very house influenced. But yeah, sorry. Go on, carry on.
And all y'all fucking nerdy-ass, black-ass niggas in the fucking jungle of London be rapping that corny-ass, nerdy-ass fucking bullshit. And nobody gives a fuck. And whenever Kanye comes in or whenever Drake comes in to give y'all a little piece, like, oh yeah, a little piece of shine, y'all be mad hype, y'all be all on stage together, like y'all fucking Wu-Tang Clan, y'all niggas ain't shit. Grime ain't fucking shit. London, UK hip-hop needs to step its shit all the way the fuck up.
I just mentioned she did say London, she didn't say Birmingham, she said London.
But yo, can you imagine she listened to Birmingham? Fucking that'd have been a 40-minute rant.
Yo, alright, that's fit. Just I'm on my campaign, man. I just don't want people like
Go ahead.
around, man.
Go ahead.
Vitamin D. Y'all gotta get in the sun, you understand? Because y'all niggas. By nature, niggers, animals, Africans need to be at a certain place under the fucking equator. That's why we so black. We need to have a certain number of fucking UV rays coming on us to feed us that energy. Y'all niggas in the UK with all them clouds over you, y'all niggas ain't got shit. Eat some vitamin D. Take some vitamin D tablets. Drink some milk.
I think that's enough.
Okay.
I think that's enough.
Are you disgusted by that? But that's not even her going on like
No,
when
I
she
think that's
starts
enough.
racially abusing people. I think she's disgusting. And basically the reason I brought up that old interview is I just want to display what a piece of shit she is. She's disgusting.
Yeah, but for me,
and we shouldn't give someone like that a second chance because she's a horrible racist
For me,
woman.
right, the first thing that jumps out to me hearing that audio, I don't even believe I've heard it before, but it's not someone that is mentally sane, for one. First thing.
Yeah.
Even if I just listen to her and she's speaking a different language, it doesn't sound like somebody that is mentally sane. Straight away, right?
Yeah.
I'm not no therapist,
Yeah.
but that's exactly how I felt straight away. Cool.
Yeah.
Two, she's entitled to her opinion. You don't have to like everything, right?
Okay.
Now, the only thing that I have a concern about, because I might turn around and say, you know, music from Texas is shit and da-da-da-da-da. The only thing that I would have a concern about is when she's referring to race. That's the only thing. But that comes full circle as to like sitting, maybe not in the same seat, but on the same bus as Charlmagne in terms of being well-versed and understanding
But she's
that
an
we do
intelligent
take a
woman.
lot
She's an intelligent woman.
of pride in terms of our culture.
Listen, this is the thing, right? Because I agree.
She's allowed to have her opinion.
I agree with everything you've said.
She's allowed to have an opinion.
Agreed. Everything you've said.
I just think it's wrong to try and almost...
Do you think she's got the right to go on to Weiler now and say these black men are being colorist and saying that they're racist against me because I'm a dark-skinned woman?
No,
because that's what she's saying.
She's entitled to her opinion, and I will be...
She's not entitled to an opinion after comments like that.
Nah, see, you can't just... Because in 30 years' time, she might have just mad knowledge and talk about the things that she's been through. Next thing you know, the girl's been raped. Next thing you know, she's been abused by her dad.
I'm sorry.
Next thing you know,
man.
like these things are key indicators for why people behave
Okay,
that
so
way.
if you get raped, you can wild out and talk like that?
Listen, everything is case by case sensitive, right? So there's not a right answer for that question because everyone is made up of different experiences and different upbringing. So what might affect you one way might affect me another way.
Yeah.
That's why when someone passes away, you might be somebody that don't speak.
Yeah.
I might be somebody that cries.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And that just comes from what we've experienced in the past and how our personal DNA setup is. So I just think I would hate to point fingers. As far as I'm concerned, what she said is some of it is disgusting, right? She's allowed her opinion, right?
She is, but then
when she's
if
getting
you've got
racial,
an opinion on
cool.
that.
But that is not out of the ordinary to experience colorism.
Okay,
That happens.
But also, bruv, right? Let's not take into account that she's a black woman. Let's talk about colorism. whatever.
So you
the
don't
race
think?
is.
So listen, I work in a corporate world, right?
No, I don't want to get. I don't want to.
Just quickly. You can stay on that point. But I work in the corporate world, yeah. And I would be stupid. This might even be a flipping hot take, but I'll be stupid to think that there wasn't an element of benefit with regards to my skin tone.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
Okay.
That's
So
it.
there's a positive and there's a negative.
I mean, for me, it's...
There's a benefit. What's the opposite of a benefit?
What do you mean?
Like,
Disadvantage.
there's a disadvantage and there's a benefit.
Yeah, but it's benefiting me, but that's not how it should be. And it's not even benefiting me because I'm thinking in my head, I don't know, maybe this is the way. I'm having to question it. But little do they know, I'm black. Do you know what I mean? So, or should I say full black?
Oh, so you're saying being lighter.
Yes,
Okay.
colorism.
Okay.
So I might be getting
No, I
into
understand the concept of colorism, but I'm just saying from you being lighter,
Yeah.
they might think, oh, well, he's not fully black.
Whether it's intentional or unintentional, do you understand? It might just be subliminal. They don't even realize what they're doing, but, you know, I might be nicer on the eye, quote unquote, in like... You know.
With those fucking waves you are.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah.
And growing up, I've always wanted to be darker.
Yeah.
Always, like growing up. So I don't get misidentified.
Bruv, we're from the same place in terms of that.
So
'Cause
colorism does happen.
'cause
Azealia Banks
Yeah.
may even had experienced that. But the way she goes about it is verbal.
But when you come to me chatting about colorism and like, if I get you the clip about Zayn that she was saying
No,
about Zayn,
it's mad. I've heard all the stuff.
it's horrendous.
But
So
for
that
me,
that means now that you're stripped from
yeah, but
all
it
rights to say.
it highlights a level of insecurity.
Yeah, agreed. But you can't be. But that
Yeah,
doesn't
so
mean
the
that now.
bottom line is
Get her out
she's
of here.
cancelled in terms of her opinion based on race, which
Get
is racism.
her out of this industry. She's disgusting.
Yeah, but you can't just X someone.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
You can't.
You can. It's been done.
For me, unless you're
Who's that football?
a rapist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a pedophile.
Yeah.
Or paedophile, however you want to say
Yeah.
it, you're not cancelled.
I agree with those
Obviously,
two.
there's
They're
other
done,
things
they're done. But
maybe
get
that
her the
goes
fuck
into
out
that.
of here. Because who's my man? The white guy that called the football players niggers or something like that. The old guy that was.
Right, I know you're talking about that. Can't think of the name.
They got him out of here.
Yeah, but that's yeah. So they should.
And so they should get her out of here.
Yeah, but that's racism.
This is racism. What she's talking.
You know, there's a difference.
No,
right?
no, bruv. Sometimes you speak to me like I'm not a nigger as well. Like I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. I'm pro-black.
Yeah, but what
I'm very pro-black.
Yeah, I know. I'm pro-black doesn't mean anti-white.
Exactly, and I'm pro-black. But this bitch right
Shouts
here,
out to Wale.
this chick right here, is disgusting, and she's not good for anybody black. She's disgusting.
All I'm saying to you is, right. So if there's a white kid running around saying, "Nigga this and nigga that,"
I'm not with that, bruv.
I'm not with that.
I'm not with
but
that.
in the manner that he's doing it, right, is showing an element of insanity. Maybe we should look into his mental health.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I walk into,
So maybe we
if I
should
walk
take
in-
him. Maybe we should take him.
So he might not even understand what he might have Tourette's.
Yeah.
I remember watching Big Brother and there was a kid on there that had Tourette's, right?
Yeah.
So unless you know the full ins and outs, how can you judge?
So let's take him. Let's take him away. Let's move him and let's
Yeah,
sort him out.
sort him out
Yeah, yeah.
first.
So let's take this
And
woman.
it's not acceptable what he's saying.
So let's take this woman away, get her out the industry, and sort
But
her
what I'm
out.
saying, if there's indication as to, like, if you're speaking to somebody that is,
Not only do I not
Same.
like her, I don't like her management either because
yeah, no, that's a whole.
they're
different-
pushing that.
Yeah,
stuff.
of course. But I'm saying, like, remember when we was talking about the caller that called up, spoke about the English
yeah.
football
Yeah,
team
yeah.
and said, "Listen, I'm not really fucking with these quote unquote black guys, basically.
Yeah.
I don't care what their skin tone is. I'm not fucking with them." That's out and out racism. But the way he's portraying himself, right, it's in like a diligent manner. Like the way he's coming across, indication that he may be.
There's no aggression to it.
There's no aggression. He's quite composed.
Yeah.
He's
somewhat
coming
seems
across very well.
but it's just
exactly. So it's like, cool. You're just a racist. Cool.
Yeah.
You are cancelled. You're more cancelled than the white kid that's in Asda or Carrefour in Dubai or Walmart in America that's screaming N-word this, N-word that, going on mad, running up and down and smashing things on the floor because it's evident that something is wrong. And that's what I say about Azealia Banks. The way she comes across, it just highlights to me that something's not
Do
all
we
there.
give this woman a second chance?
One Direction, okay? Because first off, he was on
When Zayn got kicked out of One Direction, right?
in there
30
he was a
seconds.
token brown nigga. They was like, oh, let's put this brown nigga in here so we can get all the brown bitches, whatever. Listen, you a nigga just like me. But you don't even have your own fucking thoughts. You don't have your own music. You don't have your own expression. You don't have anything. You don't have anything but a relationship with some white people who don't fucking even like you anymore. You got kicked out of the group, fucking brown bitch, brown boy, nigger. You
So
nigger.
she sound normal to you?
Damn, Zayn, you got kicked.
No, she sounds.
It's like, why are we listening to somebody why are we thinking about somebody that's basically mentally in a, what do you call it? A section in jail. Why are we,
Yeah.
like, we shouldn't spend so much time on somebody that's clearly got a mental issue.
So let's get her out of here.
Let's get out of there.
All right. That's everything, man.
Hey, yo.
I got a couple.
It's a serious-
Did you know
in this episode, man.
Did you know Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin had
Engaged?
got engaged?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really happy to hear.
Quick one.
Yeah.
What do you think of that DJ Khaled tune?
Quick one. Definitely didn't listen to it.
Oh, you haven't heard it yet?
What the Justin Bieber?
I think it's called.
It's just I'm the One Part 2, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
I'm not interested, but you will be interested in the next 5 weeks when they pump it on radio. They even pump it here in Dubai.
Yeah,
They pump it here on Dubai, Virgin Radio. He's got the stimulus package. They're going to smash it out all over the world. And now, I'm like, I'm the one, yeah. I'm the one, yeah.
But what's this one
These times,
called?
when I first heard that song, I hated it. Now, I love it, but I know it's because I've been...
It's fast food, bro. Easy come, easy go.
Yeah, but obviously I've been force-fed this.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I like it now.
Yeah.
So you will like it in the
But
next
yeah,
5 weeks.
I don't think I'll like it. I think I'll tolerate it and just be like, yeah.
Yeah, tolerate it.
Yeah.
Or
I know it's good. It's a tune that it's just conditioning.
you will know
It's a
the you
tune
know
that-
the chorus.
I already
5
know
weeks'
the
time.
chorus. I know the chorus now, but I
Oh,
just
there
can't
you
off
go.
the top of my head. I can't remember. But all it is for like proms, like
Yeah, I
kids
know.
leaving school, and
Yeah.
they can play their slideshow at the end of the year and
Yeah, it
put
was
that
just
background music
just
on.
a quick question, yeah.
All Saints have got a new album out.
Who?
All Saints.
Who?
Okay. Did you see Amir Khan talk about Kylie? No, not Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner. Did you see Amir Khan talk about that? All right, that's
What we on
that's it.
anyway?
All right, we're gonna wrap up.
I've seen Amir Khan in Dubai a few times.
There's
though.
one thing.
And
Let's revisit that
Yeah.
because we need to wrap up real quick. Did you see the Tekashi interview with Angie Martinez?
yeah, he's a legend.
Thank you. The kid is sick.
He's a legend.
And you know what? He's actually a nice kid. And you know what you said about digging deeper and looking into people's past? His
You're proving
mom,
my point.
his mom and his brother are the only family members he's
You're
ever had.
proving my point. But then what? If we were oblivious to this and just took
Which
what
we were.
he said,
Which we were.
yeah, took
one
what
point.
he's saying and how he's behaving and wanting to get him cancelled. That's why, to an extent, Charlmagne is a bit of a hypocrite.
Because he'll fuck with Azealia, but he
No.
won't fuck with,
What I'm saying is that he's
6ix9ine.
been questioned about this quote unquote rape culture,
Yeah,
but Tekashi has gone down for something similar,
yeah.
right? But Tekashi is not Charlamagne's age to have not corrected his wrongs, but
There hasn't had a healing time yet.
yes. So that's the one thing that I would say, and I'm a massive follower of Charlmagne. Proper look up to the guy and respect where he's come from. But for me, that's a little bit hypocritical.
Yeah. Myers, last thing, man.
Treyway.
That's fair. Nah. Yo.
Hey, ring that.
No, I don't know. You might have to do that. I don't want to be a part of this.
Anyway.
Myers, just to wrap up, you're quite well connected, bro. You always, I don't know how you get yourself in these situations. How come you weren't on Murky Airways, bro? I was expecting to see Myers on there. That would be just the type of snap that I'd be like, how the fuck has Myers got on this?
Nah, I got stuff to do here in Dubai. That's why. But yeah, one of my pals set that up. So saw everything happen. I knew it was going to happen before it happened.
Okay. Yeah, I knew before you knew.
But I didn't.
Nah, but I knew
I didn't want to
first.
mention it on here.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention it because Stormzy, me and him were talking.
Right. Your cousin's
I
brother,
knew
sister.
ages ago.
All right, cool.
I knew ages ago.
Anyway, bro.
How long ago did you know?
Huh?
How long ago did you know?
When did you know?
I knew 10 days ago.
Oh, okay.
When did you know?
About 9 days ago.
Oh, yes. Logan Paul or KSI?
Who?
Scratch that. If you want to argue, agree. What is it? If you want to argue, agree, or stalk one of us, please do so on the following platforms. Myself is at Lucasdirty. Next week, my announcement, man.
Love that.
Can't wait.
Love that.
I'm just dropping something. It's extra content. It's just adding to my brand and stuff like that.
Yeah, and shout out to everybody listening as well. Like, we appreciate it. And the feedback as well. We're taking a lot of things on board. We have got a few guests coming. Yeah, I mean, the feedback's been wicked. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've taken pride in the amount of feedback, and it's all different things as well. A lot of stuff is similar. A lot of the things are different as well. But the fact that people are tuning in, sending me videos that they're
nice
watching
for someone
it.
to have an opinion.
Yeah, it's wicked.
Even there was one message where I thought, this person is wilding. That is not happening.
You can run it.
Wilding.
You can say it if you want, but we can
We'll revisit it. We'll revisit it.
We'll revisit some of the stuff.
If you think that we're going to do where we live, if you think we're going to do what you wanted us to do, you must be mad.
There'll be no next episode.
No, there'll be no next episode. Not on air. In my life.
Yeah. It's true. It's fully. But yeah, Myers _INTL, short for international. Follow me up. And yeah, love, bro.
Thank you for listening to Talk Dirty Podcast. We are out.